Hi everyone, I'm Eric.
And I'm Christopher.
And we're Grow For Me 5B. Today, we're going to take you on part 1 of our September garden tour.
Let's go.
So for this garden tour, we thought we'd start in the backyard where we spend the majority of our time, on our back terrace and our patio. So here we are on our back terrace. Thank you for joining us today for this September garden tour. Christopher, why don't we just start with these mums and how well they're doing? Yeah, so if you come over here, we still have our Asian Council tree, which is getting ready to head into work with Christopher soon. We did take out the plantings that were underneath it. It was a Supertunia Vivid Orchid Hoopla.
Yes.
And Pink Cashmere Superbena. We took those out. In front are a variety of mums in shades of red, purple, and pink. Some violas or pansies.
Pansies.
What is the difference between violas and pansies?
I don't know.
Purple fountain grass. And if you swing this way, Christopher, just beyond our hammock, we have our foxtail fern. Our surefire white begonias are still going strong in our hanging baskets. I get lots of questions about where the hanging baskets are from. They are from Hayneedle. If you go on Hayneedle and you search metal orb hanging basket, they should show up. But as I've said before, we did spray paint them black. They didn't come in black.
Cool.
Heading this way to my left, some coral mums. This is our bok choy, is really filled out tremendously in just like a week or two.
Yes. Very quickly.
Ornamental peppers and pansies. I really love this dark foliage on this pepper. Oh, and a chartreuse millet. Kind of cool looking. And that's our Blind Ambition grass that we pulled out down around our patio area. Didn't really know what to do with it, so we ended up putting it there. Right behind you, Christopher, is our Meyer lemon tree, which is just now starting to bloom. And that will also be heading into work with Christopher.
So I get to smell it.
Yep, he'll get to smell it. Blue Moffat juniper.
We were just at a garden center and we saw one in a can from the beginning of the season, and ours has doubled in size.
Our bonfire patio peach. The peaches are ripe. We tasted one. It tastes fine. I believe this peach tree was not particularly bred for the taste of the peaches, but for the color of the foliage.
We do have a recipe we're going to try this weekend.
Yes.
We'll see how it goes.
Continuation of the purple, pink, and red mums. And our apple blossom begonias from Proven Winners are still going strong as well. Looking beautiful. One thing we did learn about begonias this year is they are super messy. Yeah. I don't know if we'll do begonias up on the terrace again just because of how much they drop and how much cleanup they require. Those of you that watched our other video know that we switched these out. These are just like some cute little greens we put in the terracotta pots. And our herb container is still going strong. Rosemary's hitting its stride. And more apple blossom begonia over here. Well, let's walk down these steps. Over here is our drift of Lady of Shallot roses. These have gone ahead and filled out again, put on their second flush, which is now currently fading. You can see a faded bloom right there, leaning on our fountain. This is the Katarina fountain from Campagna International. We also ordered this one on Hayneedle. Underplanted with Walker's Low catmint, Sprinter boxwoods, Midnight Wine Shine. And you can really see, especially this time of year, why this is called Midnight Wine Shine, because look how shiny the foliage is.
Super glossy.
Yeah, very glossy. And to my right, we have it mirrored, some more Midnight Wine Shine. Verbena bonariensis, grown from seed. It also reseeds itself. I recommend, if you want this in your garden, start some from seed. and then also let it reseed itself. And then you kind of get that earlier flush with the ones that you started from seed, and the ones that reseed themselves come later in the season. Hiding in the center there is our weeping white spruce. Love that. The last of our tottering by gently blooms are coming, and now we're just letting the rose hips form.
I did just see on David Austin posted that this is one that's known for hips.
Yes, and someone just messaged me on Instagram and said, how are the hips on this? And I said, we're about to find out, because these were just planted in June. But follow me this way, Christopher. This is, a lot of people ask about this. This is a Mirador pergola from Costco. And the Adirondack chairs are also from Costco. The fire pit is from Woodland Direct.
It's called a Cylindro.
Yes. And then over here, another hedge of Sprinter boxwood. Here in the corner is a Bloomerang purple lilac. That'll get pretty large. I believe that gets 6 to 8 feet tall.
I believe you're right.
Yeah. Our Rock and Play in the Blues is holding on for dear life. The pollinators are loving it. Our brand new, beautiful, gorgeous, stunning hedge of Tough Stuff Top Fun Hydrangea. I am loving it.
In just a short time since we planted them, they are blooming their heads off. All of these blooms are brand new.
Yeah, and there's more coming. More coming. Serendipity Allium right here in the center. That's a faded bloom on that. Quickfire Fab Hydrangea. If you knew what these looked like last year when we planted them, you would be super impressed. These have more than quadrupled in size.
Yes.
They're doing amazing, and the fall color is spectacular. We are in 5B, as our name would indicate, in upstate New York in the capital region. What are you getting close up in on, Christopher?
I have to get in on this Ancient Mariner. At the end of the season, those last roses are always so special. Look at that.
Beautiful.
So as we continue on beyond the hedge, you can see 2 Sprinter boxwoods that kind of frame the exit of the pea gravel portion of the patio. It continues on a Walker's Low catmint hedge, which was cut back to the ground at the beginning of summer. This was its second flush, and this is its third flush pushing its way through. Super reliable perennial. On the other side here, we have the Flavorette Honey Apricot Rose from Proven Winners. Not only are, even the faded bloom here is an absolutely beautiful color. We're noticing at the end of the season, the fragrance is starting to get stronger, and actually the fruitiness of the flavor of the petals is getting stronger as time goes on. Behind that is a Cheyenne Sky Panicum, which is very short. It was brand new. Was it this year or did we plant this last year?
That was planted last year.
This was last year. So it's on the short side. I think it'll top out at 4, but it'll be really cool next year to have this orange popping in front of that.
Yeah,
Really
I think once
pretty.
we get the drip installed in this bed, it'll really help.
That's coming. Don't worry. Don't worry, guys. It's coming. So here we have a little trio of soon-to-be planted baby pufferfish, a really fun panicle hydrangea we have not tried. On the raised beds, we've done a lot of clean out. These were just recently planted green beans that I'll be snacking on while it's my turn to film Eric. It's just some more stuff to get cleaned out. You can see that in our Aquapots Light, where we trialed a bunch of the 2024 annuals, we've had some really, really stellar performance. This is the Selenia Yellow Begonia, which will be new for next year. What an incredible, intense color in the center, then it fades to that really pale lemony tone on the outside. This is a Maritime Heliotrope, which is probably not very happy because it's not even 60 degrees at the moment. And I know these like it really, really warm. Janie always plants these on Dig Plant Water Repeat. This was a
Wedgwood blue, right?
No, this is not steel blue, not Wedgwood blue. It is the other blue. I'm going to pop that up on the screen. Summer Snapdragon. These did really beautiful. They held their own as a nice little vertical accent. Of course, Sweetheart Lime sweet potato vine took this whole container over, so that got cut back a whole bunch of times. Below that is another new for 2024. This is Smitten Pink Super Bells. This was fertilized. This was never watered once the entire season other than a weekly fertilizing, and it's done beautiful. I really like that color. The other 2024, I'm going to get a new green bean later. 2024 Super Bell. This is Vintage Coral, which at the beginning of the season, neither Eric or I really loved it. But I got to tell you, at this point in the season, maybe it's just this change in the season or the reverse side of those petals up against the sweet potato vine, the Mahogany, which is also new for next year. This is really good.
Yeah,
really,
this is
really
actually
good.
a pretty little trio right here. The potato vine with the apricot Selenia begonia and that Super Bells is a pretty
The
trio.
Vintage Coral. This, as Eric just said, the apricot Selenia begonia, also new for next year. They've got a good crop of plants coming out this year, guys. And I think that the apricot, I don't know, maybe there's just something about this color. I love this one. Campfire Marshmallow Bidens has completely taken over the back of this container, and these are going in the landscape next year. Really, really amazing performance there. These are some Watermelon Punch, old Super Bells that have been around for a while. They're in both containers, and they both held their own for the most part. And I will tell you, this yellow you're seeing is the Saffron Finch. From the looks of things, we have some late season budworms. We could have taken to that with BT, but at this point in the season, have at it,
We're tired.
Yeah, the Seascape strawberries.
We've also really let the strawberries go.
We really have. But you know what? We potted some of the runners up, and they're rooting. So this is already tight rooted. That's great.
That's hard to believe. It's supposed to take a few weeks.
These are going to go in the garage. We're going to leave these over the winter, and we'll see what happens. These are Buried Treasure strawberries, which I have heard are better the second year. They put out so many blooms, so many berries, that the berries come out real tiny.
Yeah, and we just didn't keep up on them. To be fair,
I
will say that the trellises in these containers are from Gardener Supply. That's a fleur-de-lis trellis and a Jardin trellis. And these are the 2x2 elevated beds from Gardener Supply.
There's a 2x8 here, 2x8 to this side of me. And these are 2x4s with the Space Saver trellis. This can actually angle to 45 degrees if you want to grow things like cucumbers and stuff. Oh, maybe that's what we should do next year with the Space Savers, is put some cucumbers in them. That'd be very purposeful. Over here, you'll see this lovely clump of messy zinnias, Bennery's Giant Lime and Bennery's Giant Purple. I really want to do a seed experiment. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know what's going to happen, but I want to harvest seeds, some from a lime and some from a purple, and plant them, and let's see what we get. We could get hybrids, we could get really ugly zinnias, or we could get really cool, unique plants. And
I mean, is there such a thing as an ugly zinnia?
I don't know. We'll find out. I mean, they're certainly ugly at this point in the season, but everything I've read says you have to let them go till they're super dry and done. Then you can harvest the seeds. So that'll be fun.
So right here behind this crop coop, we do have a mini hedge of Invincible Lace, which is a lace cap Annabelle hydrangea from Proven Winners. I remember when we were visiting Spring Meadow in July, Stacey Arvela had said this was her favorite hydrangea because it was so great for the natives, for the pollinators. Our Lemon Jade Sedum, Sprinter Boxwood, our Sugar Shack Button Bush, which is starting to put on its fall color, if you can believe it. Looking gorgeous. More Lemon Jade, a Dwarf Bee Balm.
Dwarf Bee Balm.
I want to say it's pink.
It is pink.
And then this is a new Clematis we just planted this summer. That's the last of a bloom on it.
Yeah, pink mink we put in, and it was hot. And, I don't think Clematis ever looked good the first couple of years.
Spilled Wine, which had been transplanted from the front.
That's doing great.
Yeah, it is doing very well. And then, Christopher, we're just going to go this way again.
We've decided we're going to be moving these raised beds slightly further apart next year, just to give ourselves a little walking path.
Right here is berry heavy gold winterberries. We have 3 of them. They did get annihilated by the late frost, so we're seeing no blooms, therefore no berries this year. That pink gomphrena, more verbena bonariensis, an aruncus grass. This one is called blue mohawk, right?
Blue mohawk, yeah.
Yep. Blue mohawk is sold in our area as an annual grass from Proven Winners, but it's actually perennial for us.
Yeah, it's working out really well too. It's spread quite a bit this year.
Yeah, another sprinter boxwood. And let's kind of sneak over here into our shade bed, Blooodgood Japanese maple, which we do know the name of this fungus that's on it that we'll have to take care of. You know what it is, Christopher. Something spot.
It's a leaf spot.
Probably.
And it'll come to me when we're on the other side of the house.
Empress Wu hostas underneath. This is Neptune, and then it's
Echo of the Sun.
Echo of the Sun. I was going to say Midnight Sun, but that's another thing coming up later on the tour. And then we have some Brunnera and geraniums. Our oak leaf hydrangeas back there are Gatsby moons. They were planted last year. All of this was just planted either last year or this season. Right here we have our thalictrums, all gone to seed, so we have plenty of seed for next year.
Oh yeah, lots of seeds.
Our Sun King, Aurelia, which is a perennial.
Yeah, I didn't know they bloomed, but they're attracting honeybees. There's one right there.
Yeah.
It's a cool little flower too.
Some apple brandy coleus.
Love it.
Right here we have a this is something waiting to go in the ground.
Vanilla spice sweet shrub.
That's right. Vanilla spice sweet shrub.
We found it at a garden center and I've always wanted one, and now we have to find a place for it.
Yeah. Another spilled wine. This is our hose. It's not a hose link, but it's very similar. We did get it at Costco. We've been very happy with it. We chose this one because it gets to 100 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need that to get to the far corner over yonder.
Which is getting a little more difficult now that there's an entire terrace in the way.
Yes. So we might have to figure that out. So should we go around the outside of the patio?
Yeah, let's go around the outside this way.
Okay. Catmint. We have our Little Lime Punch, which is a new variety of Little Lime. I learned something really interesting about this listening to the Gardening Simplified podcast. These hydrangeas for paniculatas are very slow to get established and slow to bloom. So if you purchase one and plant it, don't be dismayed if it doesn't bloom that season. To get this number of blooms it pushes out and then deep, intense foliage, it takes a while to get established. So these were just planted at the beginning of this season.
Yeah.
So I'm impressed we have blooms.
Totally worth the wait. Just a little preview of the color to come. I mean, they are Hawaiian punch. Yeah. Beautiful color.
And you'll notice on our hydrangeas, normally we would have this beautiful fall color. But we did get, at the beginning of the month, an extreme heat wave of like 90 degrees for a week. And I really think that just kind of burned some of our blooms.
Yeah, it crisped up a few stems.
Contorted Diana Larch.
Let me just pan all the way up. It has grown so beautifully.
It really has.
And even the needles on that are contorted.
Yeah. Underplanted with, we transplanted this in a transplant video, and don't tell me it's not Magic Show Pink Potion. It is the other one.
Purple Illusion.
All right. Gomphrena. These are Lion King Iris.
Which I'm so excited. They were really pretty colored. They let's just say they were a pretty color, but not a pretty flower this past season. Again, once they're on steady water, they're going to be great.
Yeah. Come look here, Christopher. There's a beautiful bumblebee in this purple pillar Rose of Sharon.
Oh, he's just chilling in there.
Purple pillar Rose of Sharon stays this narrow. This should be as wide as it gets, and then it's going to get about 12 feet tall.
I can't wait for that. It's a great vertical accent, and it's giving color at a time of year when there's not a lot of color in the garden.
Yeah, and the pollinators are loving it too. This right here is Illuminati Mock Orange. Or Illuminati Arch?
Tower.
Are you sure?
Well, there's 3 of them, and Arch gets a little wide, Tower gets a little tall. So it's going to be the spring vertical accent next to the purple pillar, which is the late summer vertical accent.
All right. And behind that, we have Mr. Poppins. Or no, yes, Mr. Poppins.
Mr. Poppins.
Yep. This is the male pollinator or fertilizer for the berry heavy golds. More spilled wines. This is our Tater Tot Arborvitae, doing very well for having been a little quart size planted in the middle of the winter last year.
Mm-hmm.
Our transplanted Astacia Vi David Austin roses. We pulled these out of the front foundation bed. They were defoliated and cut back and then transplanted. And as you can see, they are making a full rebound, happy in their new homes. That tiny little green blob back there is a Sting Arborvitae, a new variety from Proven Winners. It's going to get about a foot wide and 12 to 15 feet tall. A nice vertical evergreen accent. This is another one of those grasses, right, Christopher? Always the better one with naming the ornamental grasses.
This is Ruby Ribbons.
Not the same.
Not the same.
It's a different ornamental grass. I did not rewind, erase. Different ornamental grass, Ruby Ribbons.
Which, I'm not going to lie, the reason I fell in love with Ruby Ribbons is there's a huge hedge of them near Starbucks.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, you know.
I really like the color.
Inspirations everywhere.
Everywhere.
Hedge of Sprinter Boxwoods, and behind that, underneath this Prairie Fire Crabapple tree, are some foxgloves.
One of them's confused. Do you see what's happening?
It's starting to bloom.
We have a blooming foxglove that's not supposed to bloom till next year, and I think that's Candy Mountain.
Candy Mountain. Right here, sticking out as a very baby Earth Angel rose. Planted as a very small 1 gallon this year. Again, it wasn't on drip, so it did not do as well as our other roses, but it'll be put on drip this fall, and we'll share with you how we do that.
And I'm thinking that we might need to make a change with some of this catmint because it is encroaching in all the directions.
It is. Walker's Low catmint. Love it, but it does get big. This right here is a pearl berry bush that was recently transplanted. Another Sting Arborvitae. This is a Shadblow.
Yes, I can't wait for this to get bigger and be a happy tree.
A hedge of spireas that I'm thinking are a little close to this Japanese white pine.
They are at, I believe, their maximum size.
Okay, but the Japanese white pine is not its maximum size. So that's something to consider for next year. Yeah. And then, Christopher, look over here. This is really cool because you get to see fresh blooms on the tiny Quickfire Hydrangea paniculata and aged blooms on the tiny Quickfire. This is the smallest paniculata hydrangea that is currently on the market. It gets about 1.5 feet by 1.5 feet. These were just planted in June. So they are going to be these full, beautiful little balls of flowers. They're going to look like bouquets popping out of the ground.
I'm excited for those.
Yeah, and behind them in the Jardin birdcage trellis is a grouping of Stand By Me Clematis, not lavender, blue.
Lavender. They are the
Yes.
lavender.
And then we're going to take off this direction.
So you can see this catmint wraps all the way around from the Ancient Mariner rose into the reminiscent pink rose. There is a fresh one. Beautiful fragrance. These grow in really nice tight clusters. They're doing beautiful. Smell really, really nice too.
Another angle of those Quickfire Fab hydrangeas.
The star of the fall garden right now is the Midnight Sun Weigela. New for next year. Almost
No, these are available now.
They are available now?
they're-
Run, get them. Get more of them. Really, really nice. They actually remind me almost of what the oak leaf hydrangeas will look like eventually throughout the season.
Yeah, that's such a cool color.
Also very cool. These are Snowfire Aronia that have my very tech savvy cages around them to keep the bunnies away, which is why these are not big, beautiful plants. They are starting to bloom.
No, that's a weed.
What? No.
That's funny.
This is a weed. This is not an aronia bloom. This is a weed. Behind that is a drift of Midnight Masquerade Penstemon that have been cut back. They put out a really nice tall pink flower show earlier in the season, but they get cut back because those blooms start to look a little bit cruddy. This is a soon-to-be moved Roald Dahl.
Oh, but look, it's got all these buds waiting to pop open.
Oh, maybe I don't know. We might have to just leave it and figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
It's so nice. The plan was to transplant it over by a blue Tromnar spruce.
We just might have to do it, though.
We might have to do it. This is a grass. I'm going to have to look at the tags because it's really cool. It's got this kind of, it's not a Carl Forrester grass, but it is a Calama gratis. So we will see what that one is. This is the Wedgwood Blue.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's Wedgwood Blue.
So this little guy is another tater tot that was just a quart last year, doing really beautiful. And here is the forever reblooming Steady Eddie Viburnum, single file viburnum. You see there's only the one row of flowers, not the two. This has been in bloom every second since the first bloom started. Really, really nice. This tree here on the corner of this bed is a Tupelo. This is the Green Gable cultivar. It will get the most intense red fall color and grow just beautiful, just like a nice, I don't know, how do you describe it? Just like a nice, beautiful round tree. It's going to be gorgeous. Some more of this verbena. These verbena, there's, I believe, 4 plants, had popped up as reseeded seedlings on another side of the garden. I popped them out of the ground and stuck little tiny seedlings right here. And this is what we get at the end of the season. Some more of the sprinters here. The brightest thing in our entire garden right now is the dahlia that we don't know the name of. It's
a yellow dahlia.
Yellow dahlia.
From Proven Winners.
It's this little tiny shrubby shaped kind of dahlia. They stay so low to the ground. They're so vibrant. And we chose them to fill in around these foxgloves that are Sutton's apricot that I grew from seed last year. They bloomed this year, and these are the new babies that will bloom for us next year. This is some Boscabel David Austin shrub rose. Really, really beautiful.
There's a faded one. There's a faded bloom back there.
Do we have a faded one? Oh, yeah.
I mean, Boscabel is gorgeous.
Corally
even when it's
pink.
Dying.
Corally pink, beautiful. Below that, some lamb's ear, some more catmint. This is a sensation honeysuckle that is sensational. It is really, really anxious to keep growing, and luckily we have the trellis for it. We're going to be cutting this down pretty low towards the end of the season to replace the trellis with the new trellis, which is 30 inches wide and 8 feet tall. So this is going to be able to really reach its full potential. Right now it's got those funky red berry clusters that it gets after the pretty yellow blooms. Love that. Earlier in the season, before the hollyhocks had grown, we popped a torchlight coleus in there. And that torchlight, once the hollyhocks were cut back, started to take off. Other than Newly Noir, I think this is Eric's favorite coleus.
Yeah, I love Newly Noir. I love Lime Time, and then I love this one. There's the remnants of those hollyhocks that got cut back that keep trying to push a little growth, but I think the rabbits keep going after them.
That's okay. And then again, we come back around to the Tottering by Gently, and then we can leave the terrace and patio area and begin taking off around the side of the house.
So that leaves us at the start of this, one of my favorite things we have planted in this new space, our Invincible Sublime Hydrangea hedge, which, despite the deer damage, is still going strong, looking gorgeous, planted only last year. A small 1 gallons or quarts, I believe. I mean, these are fresh blooms right here. That green color, beautiful.
You can't beat it. You
can't beat it. And then here's an old bloom. Same color. I mean, you can't. I mean, an Annabelle type hydrangea that holds the color of the bloom through the entire season is fantastic.
Eric, what are the stats on these?
5x5.
Yeah,
Blooms on new wood.
How beautiful is that going to be when the Ruby Falls Redbud, which is this beautiful weeping tree, is in its full purpley glory? Right now, doesn't it turn green? in the
Yeah,
fall?
so the dark leaves of the Weeping Ruby Falls Redbud turn green in the fall because they're already dark purple during the season. In the fall, they turn green. Right behind this hedge here is another Thalictrum. This was a really pretty Thalictrum when it bloomed. It was pink. I can't remember the name of it though.
Delavai.
Delavai, not Delavii.
No, Delavai. I've been staring at that word.
Okay.
I am going to collect seeds from that. I'd love to put some more in.
Yeah, we should definitely do more of those. In this urn here is an asparagus fern, an unplugged So Blue, and a tropical, is it tropical sunrise super
Yes.
bells? We have a Winecraft gold Smokebush. You can see that starting to turn some fall color. Behind that is an Essex trellis with a Clematis on it called Rootle. Boom Chocolata geraniums.
They're tired.
They're tired. They're suffering from a little powdery mildew. We do have some hostas back here that are end of their season. The deer are nibbling on them. Lady's mantle. Some sort of aster.
Yes, I'm going to pull the name of that up.
Yeah. This is a pagoda dogwood that we purchased up in Vermont. Love the tiered shape, the tiered vase effect of this dogwood. Behind that is a Gatsby pink oak leaf hydrangea. If you don't have an oak leaf hydrangea in your garden and it's hardy in your zone, grab one. I can't remember the zone hardiness off the top of my head, but a quick Google will tell you, and they're just spectacular. Jim Dandy. Is it Jim Dandy? It's not Jim Dandy.
That is Color Wheel Dandy Man.
Dandy Man rhododendron. These are recently transplanted Virginias, drinking gourd. Not Liatris. It's Asta.
Star of Magic, Astrantia.
Astrantia. Oh, back there is our snake root, Bugbane.
The Pink Spires variety, looking really cool.
Especially right next to that Quickfire hydrangea.
This was only planted a few months ago, but it got really tall. I believe this tops out at 5.
That's cool.
That'll be fun.
Columnar Hetzi Juniper.
This is another one that really shows us what our garden started as and what it's become.
And right here, I'm standing under our Gothic arch from Gardener Supply. I love this arch because of the sheer size of it. 6 feet wide, 8.5 feet tall, planted down as a Betty Corning Clematis and Generous Gardener Rose on each side. Here's a faded bloom of the Generous Gardener. And to my right is our Eastern Redbud tree, which I think we're going to thin out, prune back a little bit this spring once the leaves have dropped. Autumn Joy Sedum underneath, starting to split a little bit in the middle. Might have gotten a little too much water lately.
Yeah, there's a lot of water in this area.
Lucious Citron Lantana. Our Mill on the Floss Rose doing very well. Phlox. This is the Proven Winners variety of catmint called Cat's Pajamas.
Yep.
This is a Tough Stuff Top Fun hydrangea. This is the extra one. We had 7 we were going to put in that hedge, but there wasn't enough room, so we put the 7th one here. Back there, that beautiful haze of bright blue is unplugged Rockin' Blue Suede shoes, right?
That is Rockin', not Unplugged.
Did I say unplugged?
Unplugged, but it
Did I say rocking unplugged?
Rockin'
Rockin' Blue Suede shoes. Gertrude Jekyll Rose, thorny. She has shot out 2 canes that are taller than me at this point in time.
Yes, they're actually resting
on a branch of the redbud.
There they go.
And that purpley red grass back there is the turkeyfoot grass. That's a blue stem.
Yep, Blackhawk's blue stem.
The lectrum right next to that. Mary Rose is blooming back there. That's
Beautiful.
Another David Austin next to the gold cone juniper. And then Christopher's got his hand on the James L. Austin rose.
Look at how vibrant that color is.
Beautiful. Lamb's ear down front, surrounded by serendipity alliums, a wine and roses Weigela. This is some peony that needs to be cut back. Quickfire hydrangeas. We have Quickfire, Pinky Winky, Quickfire, then Quickfire, Pinky Winky, Quickfire on each side of the Tromnar Blue Spruce. This stunning drift of pink right now is Fall in Love Sweetly Anemone, a perennial anemone. And anemones do spread, but this one is bred specifically to not spread as vigorously. It spreads, just not out of control spread.
It's almost if you plant them a few inches extra apart than it says to, they just kind of meet each other.
Yeah, they just kind of merge into a beautiful drift.
I'd really love it if Fall in Love Sweetly got some Fall in Love, I don't know, lovely or other colors, because it'd be really nice to have additional
more color options. Autumn Joy Sedum, underplanted with Artist's Blue Floss Flower. This is an Ageratum hybrid. This is an annual for us. I love it so much. We're going to repeat it every year throughout the garden. Verbena bonariensis, some Nicotiana. This is our Tromnar Blue Spruce, which love.
Incredible tree.
Yeah. It's probably at the width it's going to get, and now it's just going to get taller, which is great. We had recently pulled out some annuals. Bloomerang Pink.
Look at that.
I know, blooming again in the fall. Lamb's Ear and Quickfire Hydrangea. You'll notice there's repetition. We love to repeat a perennial, love to repeat a shrub, so it's not just mass chaos in the garden. So down this border, there is quite a bit of repetition. This is Unplugged So Blue.
Yes, it is.
Backed by Nosferatu Daylilies. I'm not a huge daylily fan. Christopher is the fan of the daylilies.
I'm a fan of 2 daylilies.
Yes, 2 daylilies. Verbena, this is a Pinky Winky. Quickfire is right next to it. More serendipity. This right back here is a totem pole grass, right? Or is it North Winds?
North Wind.
This is North Winds. A little bit split from the heavy rain, but I love it anyway. Autumn Joy Sedum. Firelight Tidbit Hydrangea, recently transplanted here. This whole area we redid in a video. You can see the Agastaki probably needs a little more water than it's getting right now. As we said, that hose is hard to get back here, so we're a little bit lazy about it, but I think it's going to be fine.
It'll be okay.
Yep, another Sting Arborvitae. Lamb's Ear, this is the Pink Potion, Magic Show Pink Potion.
Which has growth on every single little clump.
Back there is our Lemony Lace Elderberry. And I think it's funny because some of the branches that were previously covered by that purple leaf sand cherry we pulled out are now kind of burning a little bit because they're not used to the sun, but they'll be fine.
It's also growing taller than it had recently.
Yes. Birch Trio, right there. Crown Princess Margarita.
Whoa.
Yeah.
We shortened her trellis because she hadn't been growing so tall, but clearly she had a growth spurt.
Well, she's fighting a lot of deer damage.
Yeah.
The deer have been
unkind.
Yes. Serendipity Allium. This is Litchfield Angel. You want to zoom in on this faded bloom, Christopher?
Yeah. Beautiful color, but as we get close, you can see all of these
Oh my God, a Japanese beetle.
What?
What the heck?
Ugh. Don't throw it at me.
I didn't throw it at you. Baptisia with milkweed behind it. You can see the remnants of some bee balm. There is a Pinky Winky back there.
Look
it's
at
quite a large shrub. It doesn't look as big as it really is.
Yeah. There's a lot of big stuff around it, so you can't see just how big it is.
And our Winterberry is covered in berries right now.
Oh.
Yeah. And then here we have Invincible Garnetta and Invincible Mini Mauvette. A nice hedge in front of our 3 hardy hibiscus.
And we recently limbed up this incredible specimen of a bald cypress. That was one of our very early garden finds. I think it was $15. It was a whip of a tree. And once we lifted it up, we discovered our evening rose hibiscus back here is darkening its leaf color now that it gets the sun. How nice is that?
Yeah. And back here is our Sweet Spire that we have. This is just one of our more wet areas. So we have our wet loving plants back here, minus the Invincible Mini Moffat. We raised those really high up. We added about 3 feet of soil.
Yep.
For those. And yeah, I'm loving this area.
Thanks for joining us for part 1 of our late September garden tour.
Again, I'm Eric.
And I'm Christopher.
And we're Grow For Me 5B.
Thanks for growing with us.